Namaste, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining me today. Go ahead and take a deep breath, settle in, and get ready, because we are embarking on a truly profound journey today. We're going to dive right into the beautiful and honestly sometimes completely paradoxical nature of devotion. You know, that deeply human search for the divine and the really fascinating contrast between where we usually look for it versus where we actually find it. Through our analysis of some incredibly moving poetic source material, we're going to unpack this whole concept, the dichotomy of devotion. So get comfortable and let's explore this beautiful mystery together.
Our journey kicks off with a line that has literally echoed through centuries of spiritual searching. Some say you are in Kashi, some say Kailash. Just let that sink in for a second. Kashi, this profoundly sacred city on the banks of the Ganges. Kailash, the untouchable, majestic peak up in the Himalayas. Actually, think about the Somnath Temple for a moment. A breathtaking beacon of spiritual significance. Its historical resilience is amazing. It was destroyed and rebuilt time and time again, which perfectly epitomizes this massive physical devotion we have. When we're looking for ultimate truth or some kind of divine connection, our human instinct is so often to literally pack our bags and embark on a massive pilgrimage to these monumental sites. We just naturally look to the highest mountains and the absolute oldest, most revered spaces out there.
But, that brings us to a pretty fundamental question. We constantly look for strength outside, but what if it's already within us? Think about your own life for a minute. Think about your own moments of searching for meaning, or comfort, or power. Whether you call it the divine or inner peace, or just profound personal strength, why is our very first instinct almost always to look outward? We kind of just assume that a force so immense must be housed in grand temples or sitting on top of untouchable mountains, right? It feels like it absolutely requires this grand physical journey. But what if the longest, most important journey we ever take is literally just the few inches from our mind to our heart?
The poetry we're looking at brilliantly illustrates this core paradox of our devotion. On one side of the equation, we have these massive external spaces, Kashi, Kailash, the boundless sky. These represent the vast, untamable universe, the macroscopic world. But then, on the exact opposite side, the poets highlight incredibly internal spaces. They talk about the intricate alleys of the eyes, a confined cage, or simply being near me. It's amazing because the poetry completely flips our geographical expectations upside down. It deliberately contrasts the epic, sweeping scale of the external world with the intimate, almost claustrophobic spaces within us. It really challenges the very geography of where the divine truly resides. Consider for a moment how this internal landscape is painted for us. Lost in the intricate alleys of these two eyes, where do you find yourself? That is just a stunningly powerful image. Instead of wandering the physical streets of a holy city, the divine is wandering, and perhaps even getting delightfully lost, in the complex emotional depths of our own eyes. It's essentially telling us that our internal human world is just as vast, just as wonderfully complex, and absolutely just as worthy of divine presence as any grand physical temple on the face of the earth.
So let's actually break these metaphors down a bit, because doing so reveals a much deeper truth about our human experience. Those intricate alleys we just talked about, they represent the complex, sometimes confusing, and deeply emotional pathways of human devotion. Because let's face it, our feelings, our faith, our love, they're not always straightforward, are they? They twist, they turn, they double back. And then consider the cage. Usually we think of a cage purely as a symbol of restriction, like a prison. But here, the poetry completely reclaims that word. It represents the mortal human body, or maybe the captivating, binding nature of true, unconditional love. The text so beautifully suggests that the highest power actually favors the messy, beautiful complexities of human emotion over some absolute, detached, boundless freedom.
And that realization leads to a genuinely staggering thought. It's a true divine paradox. You love the cage more than the sky. The source text literally challenges the divine, asking, even when told to fly away, do you even listen? Just think about the sheer magnitude of that statement. The ultimate, omnipresent force of the universe, a force that literally has the entire endless sky at its disposal, chooses to stay in the tiny cage of the devotee's heart. It actively refuses to leave. It's such a profound statement on the gravitational pull of pure, sincere devotion. The boundless universe prefers the intimate constraints of your love. No way around it, that is just beautiful.
This whole internal focus is perfectly validated as we look a little deeper into the poetry. It states so simply yet beautifully, "Whenever I called you Baba, you were near me." Notice how the very moment a sincere call is made, that frantic external search to Kashi or Kailash, it ends instantly. There's no travel time required here. There's no vast physical distance to cross. The divine is present the very fraction of a second it's called upon. The big realization is that the divine presence isn't some arrival from somewhere else. It's an awakening to what is already right beside you, right within you.
All right, so we've established this immediate presence. But what does that presence actually do for us as individuals? When the divine is near us, what is the result? Is it just a passive feeling of comfort, a little gentle reassurance, or does it actively, tangibly transform us? The poetry we're analyzing today doesn't just stop at the comforting realization of proximity. It actually pivots entirely. It takes this intimate, internal connection and translates it into something incredibly dynamic and frankly empowering.
Because here is the ultimate payoff of this entire internal search. It's undeniable. By your strength, I am strong. The divine doesn't just sit there passively. It acts as a massive amplifier for the human spirit. Earlier, we talked about the historical resilience of the Somnath Temple, how it was repeatedly destroyed yet powerfully, stubbornly rebuilt time and time again through completely unwavering devotion. Well, this poem suggests that exact same monumental, indestructible strength lives right inside of you. By realizing that the highest power isn't isolated on some distant mountain peak, but intimately anchored within your own cage, you inherit that immense resilience. Your personal power in this world is directly tied to this internal realization. As we wrap up our analysis today, I really want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Are we the cage that the divine itself refuses to leave? Just sit with that question for a moment. Despite our human flaws, despite our confusing, complex emotional alleys, the poetry tells us that we are the chosen dwelling place of the profound. I really hope this explainer has helped you recognize your own inherent worth and the incredible, absolutely unbreakable connection you hold within yourself. You know, you don't always need to look up to the sky when you already have so much power within. Thank you so much for exploring these beautiful ideas with me today. Keep reflecting on this, keep looking within, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.